Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
You can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
Literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Kingdom of Crumbling Crowns, Disney's Snow White dropped like an enchanted apple.
What they really mean is they're describing a worldview that hates you, that hates everything America stands for.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she
and at
does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
Zegler's a loudmouth dope. Right, we're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what woke me.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist who's just clinical at this point.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history.
It doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
Well, we all basically knew that Snow White was going to be a massive failure at the box office because of Rachel Zegler's controversial.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the job.
Hey there, pop culture pilgrims, and welcome back to the only place that dares to dissect the drama behind the dazzling lights of Hollywood. Today, we're diving headfirst into a box office battle of epic proportions, a cinematic clash that has the suits in Disney's boardroom sweating more than Gaston in a sauna. We're talking about the fairy tale face-off between the highly anticipated live-action Snow White and the seemingly simple, yet surprisingly powerful Minecraft movie. Get ready, because the results are in, and let's just say, one of these contenders got a glass slipper, straight to the jaw. Alright, let's not beat around the enchanted bush. The numbers, my friends, are absolutely staggering. When we look at the cold, hard cash, it's clear we're not just talking about a minor victory here. We're talking about a full-blown box office annihilation. Picture this, the Minecraft movie, which many initially dismissed as a simple video game adaptation, stomped into theaters, and in its opening weekend in the United States alone, raked in a king's ransom. Now, compare that to Disney's Snow White, a film backed by a massive marketing machine, a legacy brand, and decades of beloved history. After 3 long weekends in theaters globally, Snow White has barely managed to limp its way to a figure that Minecraft surpassed in a single weekend on domestic soil. Think about that for a second. 1 weekend in the US versus 3 weekends across the entire planet. That's not just a loss, that's a cinematic evisceration. Analysts who predicted a close race are likely hiding under their desks right now, because this isn't even a fair fight. It's more like watching a toddler try to arm wrestle a grizzly bear. The financial disparity is so vast, it's almost comical. If it weren't so, well, humiliating for the House of Mouse. Now, you know how it goes in Hollywood. The critics weigh in, often with their sophisticated takes and nuanced analyses. In the case of the Minecraft movie, many of the so-called experts weren't exactly singing its praises. They deemed it too simplistic, too geared towards kids, perhaps even too blocky. They seemed to think that a movie based on a game, where you essentially build things with digital Lego, couldn't possibly resonate with a mainstream audience in a big way. Oh, how wrong they were. Because while the critics gave Minecraft a rather lukewarm reception on aggregate sites, the actual paying moviegoers told a completely different story. The film exploded onto the scene, with a global opening weekend that soared past the $300 million mark. Let me repeat that, $300 million. Meanwhile, Snow White, despite all the Disney magic and nostalgia they were banking on, has been crawling its way through the box office, struggling to even reach the $80 million milestone after weeks in release. It's a stark contrast, isn't it? And the real kicker, the audience scores for Minecraft are through the roof. We're talking a massive disconnect between the critical establishment and the very people who buy the tickets. It seems the public has spoken, and their wallets have made it crystal clear. They're craving fun, non-pretentious entertainment, and apparently, Minecraft delivered exactly that, while Snow White, well, not so much. Alright, let's address the diamond pickaxe in the room. The issue that has been swirling around Disney's Snow White like a poisoned apple in a hurricane. The heavy-handed modernization and perceived wokeness of the film. From the casting choices to the alterations in the storyline, and the lead actress's own outspoken views on the original material, this film has been steeped in controversy from the get-go. Remember Rachel Zegler's comments about the original 1937 animated classic being outdated and focusing on a love story with a stalker. The same Snow White that not only launched Walt Disney's entire cinematic empire, but remains a beloved classic for generations worldwide. It seems that those remarks, coupled with the film's apparent departure from the traditional fairy tale elements, didn't exactly sit well with a significant portion of the audience. Many felt that Disney was less interested in faithfully adapting a cherished story, and more focused on pushing a particular contemporary agenda. One particularly blunt assessment from an insider described the movie as having a message ad infinitum shoved directly up your, well, let's just say it wasn't a glowing review. The sentiment online echoes this, with many viewers expressing disappointment that the magic and charm of the original seem to have been sacrificed in favor of what they perceive as forced social commentary. It begs the question, when you tinker too much with a beloved formula, do you risk alienating the very audience you're trying to reach? And at the center of this swirling storm of box office disappointment and fan backlash is the film's lead actress, Rachel Zegler. Now, it's crucial to remember that making a movie is a massive collaborative effort, and it's likely unfair to place the entirety of the blame for Snow White's underperformance solely on her shoulders. However, it's undeniable that her pre-release interviews and outspoken criticisms of the source material ignited a significant firestorm of controversy among fans. Imagine being a lifelong admirer of the classic, Snow White, and then hearing the actress cast in the iconic role essentially dismiss the very elements you hold dear as antiquated or problematic. It's a tough pill to swallow, and for many, it soured their anticipation for the film before it even hit theaters. While Zegler was simply expressing her perspective on the character and the story, the timing and tone of her remarks seemed to rub a lot of people the wrong way. It fueled the perception that this new Snow White was less about celebrating a beloved fairy tale and more about deconstructing it through a modern lens. Whether this perception is entirely accurate or not, the impact on the film's reception seems to be undeniable. It's a cautionary tale, perhaps, about the delicate balance between modernizing a classic and respecting the elements that made it a classic in the first place. And in this case, it appears that the scales may have tipped too far for a significant portion of the audience. This box office faceplant for Snow White isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a larger trend that has many observers questioning the current direction of the Walt Disney Company, particularly when it comes to their handling of their iconic intellectual property. Over the past few years, we've seen a string of live-action remakes that have either underperformed at the box office or been met with lukewarm reactions from both critics and audiences. While some have found success, others have been plagued by controversies surrounding casting choices, script alterations, and a general sense that the magic of the originals is being lost in translation. There's a growing sentiment among fans that Disney is prioritizing updating their classics with contemporary social and political themes, often at the expense of the timeless storytelling and enchanting charm that made these stories so beloved in the first place. It's as if they're trying to fix something that wasn't broken, and in the process, they're alienating the very audience that grew up with and cherished these tales. The success of the Minecraft movie, a film that seemingly focused on delivering simple, escapist fun without any heavy-handed messaging, only serves to highlight this potential disconnect. It begs the question, is Disney losing touch with what their core audience truly wants? Are they so focused on appealing to a specific segment of the population that they're inadvertently turning off a much larger one? The box office numbers for Snow White certainly suggest that something isn't quite right in the kingdom of the mouse. So, while Disney's fairy tale seems to have crumbled under its own weight, let's take a look at why the Minecraft movie has defied expectations and become such a massive success. At its core, Minecraft is a game about creativity, exploration, and simple fun. It's a digital sandbox where players of all ages can build, explore, and create their own adventures. And it seems the movie adaptation wisely tapped into that very spirit. Unlike Snow White, which was mired in pre-release controversy and perceived ideological agendas, Minecraft largely flew under the radar in that regard. It promised a fun, family-friendly adventure, and by all accounts, it delivered. Theaters were reportedly packed, with audiences, particularly kids and families, enthusiastically embracing the blocky world and its characters. There are even reports of such high energy in some screenings that, well, let's just say the authorities had to get involved to manage the sheer excitement. That kind of organic, enthusiastic reaction is something that money can't buy, and it speaks volumes about the movie's ability to connect with its target audience. Furthermore, Minecraft boasts a massive built-in fan base. The video game has sold hundreds of millions of copies worldwide, creating a generation of players who are already invested in the world and its characters. This pre-existing audience provided a significant head start for the movie, and it appears the filmmakers did a commendable job of staying true to the spirit of the game while crafting an engaging cinematic experience. In a world where many big-budget movies are trying to cram in complex narratives and social commentary, perhaps the simple formula of delivering pure, unadulterated fun is exactly what audiences are craving. And there you have it, folks, the epic tale of Snow White getting utterly snowed under by the Minecraft movie in a box office battle for the ages. It's a story of contrasting approaches, of fan expectations versus studio intentions, and ultimately, of what resonates with audiences in today's cinematic landscape. The message seems pretty clear. Sometimes, less is more, and focusing on delivering a genuinely enjoyable experience can go a long way. What are your thoughts on this box office bombshell? Were you surprised by the success of Minecraft? Did you see Snow White, and if so, what did you think? Let's get the conversation going down in the comments below. I'm eager to hear your perspectives on this fascinating Hollywood showdown. And if you found this deep dive into the drama as captivating as I did, don't forget to smash that like button. It fuels our quest for the next big Hollywood scoop. And of course, if you want to stay in the know and never miss a beat of the entertainment world's most intriguing stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Thanks for hanging out with me here on Hollywood Scoop.